going on, YouTube? This is Chris here, and you're in the Alone Zone. Can't get out of the car and do any videos today. It is pouring down rain, and it is so hot and humid. Oh my God, temperature is almost 80 degrees. Last week when I made that video and I was sitting at the bench and I was so cold, here it is a week later and it's so hot. And I don't have a working air conditioner in my vehicle, so when it's raining I have to have the windows up, and so it fogs up in here because it's so steamy. And if I crack the windows, you know, everything gets wet. I'm sure you can hear the pitter-patter of the rain. I love rain, but not when it's warm. In December, in the summertime, if it rains, it cools it down. But in December, if it rains, it's not as good because it's supposed to be cool and not warm. And it's a totally different type of air, man. And I knew when I stepped out of my house this morning. The humidity was so thick you could slice it with a knife and you could just smell the rain in the air. And 30 minutes later at about 10:30 it started pouring. Here it is noon, it's been raining ever since. Alright, this is what I'd like to say. Last night I posted a few videos of some songs that were fitting my mood here lately. And those are some of my favorite songs. And I like to do stuff like that. I don't do it often, but every now and then I get in the mood and I do that, and I'll post, you know, songs for the mood. So while it may appear on camera lately that I'm doing better, sounding better, couldn't be further from the truth. Since I'm about being open, honest, and real with you guys, I'm not doing good at all. And maybe it's just the time of year, maybe it's the holidays, I don't know. It's probably what it is. But the loneliness is really, really starting to get to me in a very, very negative way. It's impacting my thoughts. It's impacting, you know, just anything remotely that would entertain me or make me happy. And it's nothing new and I should be used to it. I've been lonely all my life. But as I get older, it gets no easier. To have no human interaction other than when I get up and I go to the clinic and I talk to the nurse and she gives me my medicine and I leave. After that, there is no interaction in my day with a human. I may see other humans, I may be in a grocery store, but I'm not interacting, you know, on a, speech communication level. I don't know those people. And could you imagine anyone out there? See, I asked some of you guys to point me in the direction of somebody you may know that has zero friends in real life. And that didn't happen. So that proves to me that I'm the only one in this little community on YouTube of social anxiety vloggers, and then the little group I'm in on Facebook, which I hope will get bigger. Maybe I can find some people that I can, you know, invite into the group. Boy, this rain is so loud. It's like, I feel like I have to yell. And I know this camera is going to pick it up big time. Back to what I was saying. That's terrible. And I know that I said that the people in life that you're going to form your closest bond with are the ones who have walked a mile in your shoes and can relate. There's a problem with that. Everyone, or most everyone, because no one's pointing me to someone else, has at least one real life friend. Has human contact with at least one person. And that makes me feel really, really bad. Like, oh my God, I don't belong. This is not a place for me. You know, and that couldn't be further from the truth. It's just my form of anxiety and depression, and the way I've let it control me, the way I've let it isolate me, the way I've let it just detriment everything in my life. And I said this yesterday in a post. Depression is the worst motherfucking scumbag that ever existed. And it's the truth. And loneliness, and this is what I'm gonna say, and it's hard for me to say, but this is how I truly feel inside. I would much rather be given AIDS, cancer, or some other terrible illness than to be lonely anymore. If someone were to give me AIDS or cancer or Parkinson's disease or multiple sclerosis or anything along those lines, and tell me that along with that you're going to have friends, you're going to have a support system, you're going to have a female love interest, I would accept it. Because to me right now, loneliness is worse than any of those things, those diseases, the way I see it from my mind and in my eyes. I laid up the other night, Monday night, just watching YouTube videos, and I was actually searching for people on YouTube that are lonely and have zero friends, and I couldn't find anyone that met that criteria. And some of the videos that I thought may have been about someone who was lonely and without anyone, it turned out to be not. It just turned out to be like a misleading title. It's terrible. Can any of you imagine what it's like to go almost 20 years now without a single real life, close, personal friend? No. Only I can say that. And it makes me feel like I don't belong. Like I said in my friendship video last week, the video where I was cold outside, I am to blame. But at the same time, I did make attempts over the years, and nothing was successful. And the roller coaster ride, which used to go up and down, has only been going down. And there seems to be no up in sight. It's because I've never had a real life friend, or don't have a real life friend, haven't had one in almost 20 years. Doesn't mean that I can't be somebody's friend. Doesn't mean that I can't show compassion and do all the things that friends do for each other. Doesn't mean I'm not a human being. And yeah, I may have terrible, crippling, debilitating social anxiety. And it may be hard for me to be around strangers and be in uncomfortable places. And that's why I believe the internet is going to be tremendous for me. Because, and I said this in a lot of my videos, even a lot of my older videos, if I can meet people online and build a relationship that way, and then when I'm able to have the video chat capability, which I'll have early next year, to me, getting on Skype and video chatting, it'll make, even though we're not in the same room, it'll make me feel like we're in the same room because I see what you're doing, you see what I'm doing. I can take this tablet with me and I can walk around anywhere I want to go and you can see everything I'm doing. So it makes me feel as though, hey, we're in the room together, you know, we're there, we're hanging out. And to me that would be so tremendous. Because if I can get to know someone over this internet, and they are true and genuine and not those fake motherfuckers that I met across my life in previous years. And I build up, basically what it'll help me do is build up confidence, 1. 2, it'll help me build up, you know, comfort, which is the most important thing. And 3, it'll make me feel like I'm wanted in life and that I belong. And that I actually do have a real life friend. And then 4, hopefully we can meet and hang out and do the real life hanging out stuff. You guys don't know how much it would mean for me to be able to have someone to go to the movies with, to go bowling with, to go shoot pool, to maybe go to the Greyhound track and play poker because we have that here. Go fishing. Go walk around the grocery store. Go walk around the mall. Go out to eat. Hang out, maybe play video games if you like to do that. Watch movies at the house. Kick back and relax. To have someone just to do any of those things. You know, I haven't went to a movie since I was 12 years old. I haven't went bowling since I was 12. Went and shot pool or anything of the things I described. I've never went and shot pool. So it's been a long time since I did any of those things. And obviously I don't want to do them alone because it'll just make me so depressed. You just don't know, like, if I had someone who would go to a movie with me and then maybe after that go out to eat or something, that would feel like me winning the damn lottery. I feel like I won $1 million. And just for one day, to have friendship would mean so much to me. And if I died the next day, I could die a happy man. Other than the fact that I never found love, but one of my goals of making a real life friend came true. And the love thing. It's the only thing I ever wanted in life from the time I was a 12-year-old boy. I knew what I wanted. It was my dream. There is no woman out there for me. There just isn't. And I'll tell myself, oh, there's still hope, there's hope. And this, you know, this is just my mind, but who's to say otherwise? From what I've seen and what I've experienced, and it's been 20 years now almost, there is no woman for me. My lack of social skills, my lack of financial wellness, like having a decent amount of money, my lack of nice clothing, my lack of a nice vehicle, my lack of a nice big home. I live in a damn trailer in a trailer park. I drive a gold minivan, a 2000 Chevrolet Venture, and the fact that my beard isn't perfect, it's not symmetrical. There are places where hair didn't grow. The fact that my hair is not all that great when it grows out, and most of the time I keep it short, but I don't feel like cutting it. The fact that I don't have the best eyebrows or my ears, you know, aren't the best shaped, and the fact that my ear is you know, down here, I was always made fun of. They said, oh, your ear is so weird. It's like something about, because it's like connected to my, you know, there's no like little gap there or something. I don't know. I don't see nothing wrong with it. But all those factors, oh, and the fact that I don't have the best body. I have stretch marks on my stomach. I'm a big guy. I've always been a big guy. My skin isn't perfect. All those factors. Oh, and the fact that I have social anxiety, major depressive disorder, body dysmorphic disorder, which I just recently realized that I have for the past 20 years since that first girl told me how ugly I was, and then just about every girl subsequently after that, in some form or some way, told me how ugly and unattractive I was. Every time I looked in the mirror, I said I'm the ugliest guy in the world. My old AOL handle used to be Mr. Ugly. I called myself Mr. Ugly. I think of myself as the ugliest guy in the world. I hate mirrors. I don't like looking in them. I've broken so many mirrors in my life I can't even count. And yeah, okay, I have no confidence. And confidence helps attract. Great, I understand that. Can you blame me for having no confidence when you have no real life friends? And every time you tried, you failed, you were rejected at every turn. You put your heart on the line, you gave it all you had, all you could muster up, and you were rejected, and you were stabbed, and you were broken, and beaten down. Can you blame me for having no confidence? Can you blame me for feeling hopeless? Can you blame me for saying that there is no woman out there for me? My dream isn't big. It's not fame and fortune. My dream isn't to be rich. My dream was to meet a girl and fall in love, have a family, take care of her, treat her as my queen, give her everything that I can give her, as much as I can with what I'm able to do. Try my best never to do her harm, and if I do, do my best to repair it, fix it, make her know how sorry I am, and understand that there will be times where everything is not perfect. That's life. But at the end of the day, I will do my best to fight through it and fix whatever the problem may be. And I will do my best to never let you go. Unfortunately, that's not enough. There are too many other factors, as I've described earlier, that are ever going to prevent a woman from wanting me. So if you think I'm doing okay, and it may seem like I'm doing better, I'm not. I'm doing really, really bad. Even the thought of suicide had crossed my mind in recent months. Actually, in recent weeks. And no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not suicidal. But I have to be honest with you guys. It did cross my mind. I could take so much methadone that it would just do it all. But I'm not gonna do that. At the end of the day, even though the thought crossed my mind, I know that I may have attempted suicide 3 times in my life. At this point in my life, it's not gonna happen. I'll probably end up dying of a broken heart before I would ever have the guts to kill myself. I'll let it naturally happen. Because there is a such thing as broken heart syndrome. I've done some research on it. I'm telling you, that's probably going to be my demise, because I am one of the most broken-hearted guys in the world. And it's so sad that this 12-year-old boy grew up wanting one thing. And the way people looked at him, viewed him, treated him, he didn't have the mind capacity. He wasn't wired to deflect it and get over it. He wasn't wired to not let it affect him. This boy would continue through life, go down the wrong path, self-medicate himself, attempt suicide 3 times, pretty much give up on everything, isolate himself, and no matter how hard he tried, no one would ever give him a true chance, and he was rejected at every turn. This 12-year-old boy would grow up, who is now 32 years old, and still saying and dreaming for the same thing he was doing when he was 12, and in the subsequent years. But this boy would grow up, and deep down inside, he's still a child. He's still that boy yearning for acceptance, yearning for someone just to take a chance and get to know him, yearning for the social acceptance. That, yeah, maybe we shouldn't strive to be accepted, but when you've never had it, I mean, you can't understand unless you've never had it. I've never had social acceptance. So I hear people say, hey, don't worry about what other people think of you. Don't worry about always being accepted. Well, that's fine and dandy. But when you've never been accepted, it's the only thing, like, one of the main things that I want in life. But now this 12-year-old boy who's grown up, he hates the mirror, but when he does look in, he sees an aged man. He sees something he hates. He sees something that he couldn't have imagined would have ever happened. But he also sees that 12-year-old kid, the day before he built up the courage to walk up to that girl and tell her how much he liked her and asked her if she would go on a date with him. I still see that 12-year-old boy as happy as can be. Yeah, he had his issues. You know, he didn't have the most friends, and you know, he liked to be alone and in situations and stuff, but he was still a playful, happy kid. At, you know, more than he was after that day. And 20 years later, that image still plays in my mind. I can still see the desk. I can still see the setup. I can still see her. And I can still hear those words. And I may not remember exactly what, but I know. Oh, I'm sorry, but you're too ugly. I can't be seen with someone like you. And I would have never thought that those words would be the beginning of something that I wish upon no one. I wouldn't wish this lonely life on anyone, on my worst enemy if I had one, on anyone's worst enemy. So this is a reality video. This is a guy who's deeply troubled, deep emotional pain, very, very depressed, very, very alone, starting to realize this is all. This is it. There's nothing. There is nothing out there better. It's never gonna happen. And again, can you blame me for thinking that way? No. Sure, there's still time left in life, but I really, truly, and firmly believe that my death will come at the hands of a broken heart. What a way to die, huh?